Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
What a trend.
Season 10.
Bum.
Bum. Yeah, that's right, folks. We're on season 10 of Christmas in July. We don't have time to ponder how the hell we got to this point. Dragon and we even had a hard time figuring out the math on it. Oh boy, Dragon, but we are here now. Landmark 10th season. Jesus Christ, I never thought I'd do 10 seasons of anything. All right, Dragon. So we are here. We're opening up our landmark 10th season, talking about a very iconic 90s sitcom that honestly we probably should have covered by now. That was kind of the logic of doing this one first. So we're talking about Full House, our very first Christmas show. Dragon, what were your thoughts? And also, I guess, since I don't really think we've ever talked Full House on the channel at all. If you have any nostalgia for it, by all means.
Well, so I do have nostalgia. Honestly, it's interesting that we were contemplating doing a Nick at Night sort of sort of thing, and this for me was kind of my major Nick at Night nostalgia. That was pretty much how I experienced Full House. So So yeah, I get a lot of love for Full House. I think it is kind of one of the one of the definitive kind of sitcoms. Very much it was kind of like it was in that unique place towards the tail end of the '80s. Kind of feels very '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this one goes specifically, so we're in season 2 of Full House. They had done, they'd done like a Halloween episode before this point. I believe it was like kind of a certain thing where there were doubts on Full House making it past season 1 because it was such kind of such kind of an odd concept. What it really had going for it in the first season was like a 3 men and a baby sort of pitch.
Sure.
That's essentially what Full House. That was what Full House was built upon. That was what the house that Full House was built upon. But yeah, I mean, as far as this episode goes, Christmas wise, it's I got a love for the airport set piece.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite home improvement Christmas specials, which we've covered, does have a similar premise of trapped in an airport on Christmas Eve.
Indeed.
And
That's kind of I did have that thought when I was watching this.
oh yeah, I mean, just getting Full House in general, though. I mean, it was like this great, like kind of set for like the perennial sitcom. I think like all of us still. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. Love Uncle Jesse. I love me some John Stamos. This was like his shining. His shining achievement, Uncle Jesse on Full House. I mean, he's kind of like achieved kind of pop culture immortality, and it shows. The man barely is aged. But yeah, there's a lot of Full House. I guess the best way to sum it up in some of the specials that it's corny but has charm for days. That's the thing. Full House has not aged great over the years, but it's a well loved kind of thing. Where it's just sort of like, does it hold up to scrutiny per se? Is it insanely
Well,
dated?
according to Richard's victims in the comments, very much no. Richard's victims is like very anti Full House here. In a perfect world, the show would last for 1 minute, not even a full episode.
That's what I'm saying. Full House. Here's the thing. Full House. It was sort of a thing where on like a Nick at Night block, I think it plays really well. But not saying that's what we did here, but in general, I can imagine someone binging Full House. It would drive them to the point of madness. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the thing. Because again, there's a fine line between kind of charm and schmaltz, and when you have like enough distance from it, you look at it like, okay, it's kind of like that's kind of wistful. It's kind of wistful for the nine. It's kind of wistful for that late '80s, early '90s period, and it's kind of what a sitcom would be. That's kind of maybe a step above the Disney Channel, what they do with their watered down sitcoms. you know, it's in a sense, when Disney was always chasing. Let's be honest, Disney with their sitcoms were always chasing the Full House. They're always chasing the Full House Dragon on that one. They
Mm-hmm.
were. It was like that was the pinnacle of success for a while. But yeah, It's good, not great, but again, I think the characters of Full House are the main reason to go back to it, and that's why there's a lot of love. I won't lie to you, I watched this, and I did watch some clips of some of my favorite moments from Full House after this, because it does kind of put you in the mood. Like, you know what, that little show had its moments, had some great moments, but you had to sit through a lot of smiles and hugs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, we also got Co Gios in the fan just to Co Gios in the chat. I'm sorry, Co Gios
In
anime
the
fan in the
fan.
chat too. Um, Full House was a good show. I watched reruns on ABC Family when I was younger. So I'm having a little bit of a debate in the chat here. He says, I have to respectfully disagree. I think it's a cute show and it made me laugh. This TV show is the reason that war exists. Oh, God. Wow. All right. Well, my personal nostalgia for this show is very limited. I honestly don't think I've ever really sat down and watched a full episode all the way through. What I do vividly remember in the 90s when the show was airing and my parents were watching it from time to time, I do vividly remember the opening because it took place in San Francisco. And the opening, the title card, the theme song, I should say, is
crossing the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah. Well, you're crossing the Golden Gate Bridge. You're going to Fisherman's Wharf. And I distinctly remember that was like the very first time I associated like, oh, it's like a piece of media that takes place in a place that I've actually been to. So that was a cool connection for me. I do think the theme song is like infectiously catchy, but I don't know. I just did the concept of the show never really appealed to me. I gotta say though, with this episode, I went in with relatively low expectations. I think this is a perfect episode to kick things off, man. This episode has so many tropes. And I'm not even going to call it like a great Christmas episode by any means, but just for our purposes, man, this is like it's very cozy. Like that's definitely the word I would use for this.
It's a pair of slippers. Particular. It's a pair of slippers of a Christmas in July episode. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm looking forward to covering it. I do think it's got some good stuff going for it. Like you said, I think the main strength of this is the airport setting. I really think that's what makes this sing for sure. So, all right, let's see. Richard's victim says, obviously, I'm exaggerating my hatred, but yeah, the show is just too like, oh, aren't we cute and good? Look at those twins. Aren't they cute? We're cute.
Hey, real quick, did you ever get around I'm guessing no. You never saw the unauthorized like TV movie biopic they did.
You know what, Dragon? I think I might have when I was a kid, honestly.
Well, I think it wasn't that long ago. We're talking about, maybe five-ish years.
Oh, okay. Then I probably didn't then, because I do remember there was a string of those like unauthorized TV movies that came out.
Well, I think we talked about one of with the Mork and Mindy one. Did we actually?
Right. So that's probably more. And there was that was like a trend there for a while.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there were a few of them. Not a whole lot, but there were a few of them. The Mork and Mindy one.
I definitely remember a Brady Bunch one. I definitely remember. I want to say an I Love Lucy one.
Yeah, there's an I Love Lucy one there. Yeah, for sure. You and I mean, I know I definitely saw it. I think I recommended that one to you. Yeah. So there have been a few. Anyway, they did one for Full House, which is probably the most recent.
I remember the best one of that kind, not necessarily TV related, but the Three Stooges one was actually really good.
Yeah, I keep meaning to get to that one, but
it's really damn good, man. There's a lot of dramatic stuff in that one.
I remember this one's not an unauthorized one. It was like a TV movie. I told you about that terrible Abbott and Costello one.
Oh
God, the way they killed off Costello is so terrible. Anyway, the point I bring it up because behind the scenes Full House, all smiles and love and stuff. But at the same time, you did have moments where apparently John Stamos did try to get the Olsen twins fired.
Yeah, right.
Which is funny. I got to be honest, just given what the Olsen twins grew up to be, it's kind of funny.
Before we dive into the episode, we should shout this out. Kogia says, R.I.P. Bob Saget. Although he was known for being an R-rated comedian, Bob Saget was very convincing as an innocent, sweet dad in the show. Well, you know what else with Bob Saget? What I remember distinctly about when he died was just like you did not hear one even remotely bad word about the guy. There was
No.
so much like outpouring of love for
Yeah.
the guy when he died.
Well, to be fair,
I distinctly remember that.
to be fair, I don't think a lot of people are like trying to dance on a man's grave when he dies, though. But
Richard's Victim says, Tiki, for the next episode, you should do South Park. Which South Park would you like me to do, Richard's Victims? I've done a couple of them. I did Woodland Critter Christmas back in the day, but I'm pretty sure I did that one solo. We could probably redo Woodland Critter Christmas at one point. But we probably won't get to it this year. This year, the lineup's pretty locked in because it's the 10th season. We got a pattern. But, all right, well, Dragon, let's just go ahead and dive into it.
Right. So speaking of the wonderful and much missed Bob Saget, we have Danny Tanner. We start with the Tanner family Christmas photo, and this is a really cute gag to open things up on. They're all posing for the picture, and then the phone rings, but they have that timer going, so they do like an impromptu little picture. Say Christmas cheese. I mean, that honestly, Christmas cheese, Tiki, that just sums it up right there. I mean,
it really does. That actually kind of slapped me right in the face. I was like, oh, wow, they're really acknowledging, like, this is a cheesy show, and they know it.
And they're only in season 2, which is really
right.
Yeah, that's the real rub of it all right there. Or at least they knew where they were, that early on.
I am proud of my video description where I basically called this episode an iconic piece of 90s Christmas cheese.
Huh. You did that intentionally, right?
Well, the funny thing is I did not do that intentionally, but then I watched the episode and then I was like, oh, nice. Yeah. That was a happy accident.
Okay. Anyway, so of course we have a little Christmas cheese gag for you, and I like
Christmas cheese is the perfect Full House joke because it sucks.
Anyway, it's nice that we kind of bookend things because we open on the Christmas photo and we end on kind of like the Christmas graphic. So
the very 90s computer Christmas graphic, yes.
Yeah. It's technically 88. That's the thing. I always want to just label Full House 90s, but it's in that weird like Little Mermaid.
Well, it's the same thing as The Simpsons, and I honestly consider The Simpsons a 90s show as well, even though it did technically start in 89.
Right, it's like in that Little Mermaid window,
Right. Well, Little Mermaid, I mean, that is 89, and it was just one episode as opposed to a whole series. So
yeah,
one movie, not episode, but
yeah. Okay, so we have Danny Tanner with the old school camcorder. Basically making a little holiday thing for Wake Up San Francisco, which was his his new show that
I totally didn't even know he was a newsman until I watched.
Really? Yeah, that's the thing.
I really didn't, Dragon.
If memory serves, and mind you, it's been a while.
That is how little I have actually watched this show.
Now, here's the thing: I retained a lot of Full House, even though I haven't watched it in forever. So if
I said, the only stuff I could tell you about the show is that they lived in San Francisco, and I've been to the locations that they shot the intro on.
So if memory serves, Danny, as we kind of allude to here, the very least in the first season, I'm going to guesstimate the first 2 seasons at least. He was kind of like a sportscaster. He interviewed the guys in the locker room after the games and everything. He was a sportscaster who eventually ended up like doing the news with Rebecca Donaldson, Becky, who's in this, and they were like the 2 faces of Wake Up San Francisco. So I believe he eventually graduated to the desk. Could be wrong. At the very least, he was there and he specialized in sports. That was his big thing. Anyway, the point being, doing the news show for Wake Up San Francisco, and he's basically recording his holiday. And of course, the running gag, which is really funny, is that he's doing this so he can do his like a tax write off. And Jesse and Joey call this out. Yeah, so Danny is looking forward. Tiki, we have like kind of our Christmas goal, right? Also, we should first off.
Well, Dragon, I mean the tropes in this. There are so many tropes in this episode. So many.
I guess the trope to start with is we have like the place is decorated to the teeth really nicely. Christmas.
I mean, Christmas card like right off the bat.
Yeah, Christmas card.
Photo.
Christmas tree behind the photo, what they're taking. You have just decorations inside the foyer area.
Indeed.
Let's see. So, anyways, also I guess just kind of like the Christmas recording, with like him videotaping everything.
Sure.
Because again, it's our first.
Oh, of course, ugly sweaters. They call out the kooky pajamas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, goddamn, right off the bat, it's like just hitting you, like right in the face, like tropes. So many tropes.
Yep. Okay, then we have like the flame retardant tree
Yep.
with a smoke alarm angel on the top. Danny Tanner is very safety conscious, very clean and safety conscious. The running gag is that Danny is extremely clean, which of course is very ironic given who plays him. Which
I
is
know, right?
that's the gag. So Jesse and Joey have a this charmed the heck out of me when Jesse and Joey enter and they're singing sleigh ride.
Okay, you know what? It's funny you bring that up because that was probably the joke in the episode that kind of made me cringe the most from how cheesy it was.
I don't
I
know.
don't know why, just something about it. It didn't feel natural.
You know why I really like this. I'm gonna tell
Why?
you why. Okay, this is gonna be a really dumb reason. Here's why. So, the song "Sleigh Ride," the thing that's been giving me the most nostalgia for it, that has really jazzed me for the song, and this kind of like reminded me of, I guess, was I keep thinking of Muppet Family Christmas, in which Fozzie Bear is doing the duet of "Sleigh Ride" with the Jerry Nelson Snowman.
Sure, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. Actually, I forget if it was Jerry. It might not have been Jerry Nelson. It might have been
um,
Richard Hunt, I think.
Richard's Victims and Code Geass. I don't like Dragon. Have they been around? Like, are you guys like new enough that you haven't been to a Christmas in July before?
Well, it stands to reason.
Because you want to explain the trope thing that we're doing, Dragon, just off the top.
Okay, so as you can kind of tell here by our image here, we kind of we're trying to look at the science and the tropes of what goes into a Christmas episode. So we kind of take note of all these Christmas tropes that are in like all these Christmas themed episodes of TV shows, and then we're kind of trying to find the science and see the recurring patterns and such. The blinking recurring patterns.
Right. So when we bring up tropes, it's not just sitcom tropes. It's like specifically the Christmas
Yeah,
tropes.
all the Christmas tropes that we see, all the trappings of Christmas, and the things that we see, like tropes that are like a takeoff of sitcom tropes, but directly
Mhm.
Christmas related tropes. So yeah,
All right. This joke is also like pretty corny, but it did get a little bit of a chuckle out of me when they're practicing the ho ho hos, and then I believe it's Stephanie walks down
yeah.
the
Stephanie walks
stairs.
down, and Joey goes into home,
Oh, home
range.
on the range. Corny but endearing.
Yeah, so Jesse had that gag where he called out the whole the taping the trip for a tax deduction. I'm going to edit that out later. Joey's got the Santa Claus bag. We set up. Okay, here's potentially a trope here. We set up the gifts where the gifts are. The gifts are
Oh,
in the
that is
room.
very much a trope, Dragon.
So we have Joey, a family member dressing as Santa Claus trope, and we have
Yep.
the gifts being transported for the holiday trip. All right, so anyway, we have the home and the range thing. So Steph doesn't want to go on the
Can I
dumb
just
trip.
say, like, an interesting observation about this episode in general? Like,
Okay.
I really haven't watched enough of this show to determine if Steph really does fit this kind of mold of, like, the forgotten middle child, but, like, most of what I hear about the three girls in the show, it's always either Michelle or DJ. So I very much get the impression that Steph is kind of the Jan Brady of the show. And for that reason, I find it kind of refreshing that she's sort of the center of this episode.
That's the thing. So in the early seasons of Full House, Stephanie was very much on full display. It kind of went in droves if you think about it. Where you had Stephanie was the standout, but obviously Michelle was kind of growing and it was growing in popularity. And then basically when the kids were growing up, DJ probably got her most interesting stuff when she was like growing up and being all teenagery and everything.
Uh
Plus she was dating Aladdin.
huh. Yes, I very much
That
remember
was
that.
that was the coolest thing she did, and it was always bummed me out. Like, why didn't you stay with Aladdin, DJ? Why'd you?
They just literally call him Aladdin on the
No,
show.
no, I'm kidding. The kid's name was Steve, and the
I
actor
know, I
was Scott.
know.
What is that
You know
kid's
what?
name?
I wouldn't mind going back and watching some of those episodes in
Who
particular.
is it? Is it Scott Wingard? Is that I'm trying to remember the guy's last
Oh,
name.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Anyway, but yes. Anyway, there is one, and you know what? There is one episode for us we really should have covered by now. We actually should just do this randomly at some point.
Hmm?
Well, I was hoping you were going to say, "Please tell me what it is." The Disney episode. And they go to Florida.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. That is like absolutely the most iconic. That's probably the one episode of this show I have seen all the way through, if I'm being honest. I probably have seen that one all the way through.
It's the one we really got to cover at some point. Here's the thing: we got to cover that. We got to cover that vacation episode of Rugrats.
Oh my God, that is long overdue, my friend.
I know. We got to. Unfortunately, we haven't really been able to do a theme thing for it, but it's still.
What about August? August is wide open. End of the summer.
Yeah. Okay. We'll circle back to this.
Anyway.
All right. So. Okay. Anyway, so Steph.
And also, you are very much triggering Richard's victims with the suggestion of covering more episodes of this show.
Well, it's just one. Anyway.
Code Geass, the funny thing, you mentioned the direct-to-video movies. Those were, like, my sister had a few of those ones on VHS, so I very much have more nostalgia for those than I do for actual Full House. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Stephanie says, she just want to go on this dumb trip. And says, Steph, the camera's running. A little more cute and smiley, would you?
I don't want to go on this dumb trip. That was funny. Again, corny but funny.
So anyways, let's see. So I just love it's like the tantamount to like poke the kid until she does something cuter. Okay, so she doesn't want to go because Santa Claus won't be able to find him in Colorado. So thankfully, she drew him a map.
Yes.
So here's a Christmas trope for you. You know, like the kid, not spending.
The whole idea of the kid being stressed out that Santa won't be able to find him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have the map, and here my favorite part of the map.
I love the whole like you are here. Mm-hmm. Stephanie will be here. Stephanie is here.
And we'll tell them at the end.
Yeah.
And then there's a bird named, and that's a bird named Tony.
Right. I forgot.
I love that part. That's great kid logic for you. It felt really good. It felt like, you know what it felt like? I'm going to reach really deep in the nostalgia well on this one. You know what that felt like?
What did it feel like, Dragon?
See, now he's catching on. It felt like he was like, now a word from us kids section of Arthur.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, we're like the kids doing the drawings of Arthur and everything.
Sure.
Real kid moment. Of course. Okay. So we got our theme opening and everything.
Okay. I'm not going to lie. With this scene with DJ and Michelle, Dragon, I absolutely get why Michelle was so popular.
Right?
Absolutely. Okay, DJ.
Yep.
It's like such low-hanging fruit, but man, it works so well.
Okay, so DJ tells Michelle, basically the secret about her finding, so she can't tell anyone that she knows she stumbled across the presents in the attic, so she knows that everyone's getting.
Uh-huh.
So she spoils the gifts, the CD player, the rollerblades, and a bunch of toys.
You're going to be rolling in new toys.
Yeah.
Toys!
Exactly. Those are, keep the app shut, so just like a little lock and key emotion. So, we're on the plane. So we go on the plane, and
Richard's victim says, if I was Santa, I would skip her house. I gotta tell you, this is a really comfy, like, sitcom plane set, isn't it?
So here's something to actually mention. So season 2, it to me feels like, again, I haven't. It's been forever since I've watched, so I can't tell you. Like in the first season, they really did this sort of stuff because I imagine you'd probably do like when we saw Danny do his interviews in the locker room and everything, it would usually be like through a TV. I think the gag was like, okay, so if Danny can't be in the scene, we're going to cut to elsewhere. We're going to show it through the TV. So essentially, we're not going full tilt and like getting out of the main house set. So that's the thing. So what I wonder is, because of the way season 1 went, do you think season 2 at this juncture, it's like, okay, we're getting a little bit more ambitious. We're gonna take it to locales outside the house, or at the very least, more frequently, we're gonna take it to locales outside the house.
That would be surprised. That's kind of usually the trajectory of sitcoms with their settings.
Yeah, because we build one set, and if it goes well, we'll do other sets.
Right.
So we're on the plane. Let's see. So we have this gag where it's baby's first flight. So like say hi, people.
Okay, I will say, Dragon, one of the running gags in this episode that doesn't really work for me is just how like cooperative the group setting is for these kind of like cutesy moments.
I mean, doesn't that just like isn't that more
It's
like
a buy. It's a buy. I don't know. Like those are the moments that I'm like, okay, this is.
we have that one grumpy guy though.
We will get to him. He's genuinely the best part of the episode, I think.
Okay, well, regardless, it still doesn't just feel like that's kind of like the warm, cozy blanket of like never in a million years. But you look back on, that's kind of cute though. They're all bowing down.
Okay, Richard's Victims has a question. I don't know if you know this or not. Is Danny the oldest or the middle child?
So in Full House, he had. So the way it works is Danny has a sister, and the sister was Jesse Katsopoulos. They changed the last name on Jesse in the show, which is always kind of weird. So Katsopoulos to Cochran to Katsopoulos.
Oh, that is weird.
That's the thing, because initially they wanted to go more Greek with it to embrace his Greek roots, which they did later in the show. Which, I mean, it's James Roday did the same thing.
That's so rad. Oh my god, you would never be able to get away with that now. The internet would be fucking screaming.
Well, that thing, Tiki, someone actually did that.
What do you mean?
James Roday in real life. He changed his name from Roday to more a name in more line with his roots with Rodriguez.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
I mean, it's possible.
Uh-huh.
Joshua Thomas might be Joshua Tomas.
Oh my god.
Oh, actually, well, we know. I'm sorry, actually, we actually know what Joshua Thomas's other last name is, but I'm not at liberty to say.
You got me excited because I thought you were going to say we actually know what Joshua Thomas has been up to these days.
No, he's still missing.
No,
actually, I did get an update on what he's doing. He's teaching improv. It sounds like that's.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, hey, that's a good spot for him to be in.
I'm pretty sure that's confirmed by other some of our friends on the JGI Discord.
All right.
Point being, Jesse had a sister, and the sister died in a car accident. So that's why the girls are without a mother. So Danny, I don't think Danny has other siblings. I think it was just him and his sister, which of course parallels. Sadly, parallels real life with Bob Saget, his sister who died tragically. So let's see. But yeah, in the midst though, I think he's the eldest of the three men in the house. Mm. That's what he's getting at, because Jesse is just his brother-in-law and Joey's just his best friend. And I think like he and Joey are the same age, where Bob Saget's probably the eldest.
Got it.
I think that's how it works. All right. So anyways, they're on the plane. Steph has like the Steph on board, Stephanie on board, little baby on board, like yield sign thingy. Jesse's parents. So Jesse's parents are there. They're Nikki and Irene.
Do you know how reoccurring they were?
I mean, again, mainly in the early seasons, there was a point where I'd have to assume like when Jesse has kids, they're probably in the hospital and in the delivery room, probably, but maybe at the wedding. So aside from that, they really just showed up I think one episode, maybe two. They probably show up just very rarely during the big holiday family occasion.
Got it.
Anyway.
You know what parents I like? These people don't remind me of the parents I'm about to mention, but you know what sitcom parents just really I couldn't stand?
Who?
The Geller parents from Friends.
No, not Elliot Gould. It's Elliot Gould, though.
Yeah, but the way that the favoritism, though, Dragon.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. There's something
I know it doesn't hold up, but still, it's Elliot Gould.
I'm not saying I dislike Elliot Gould. I'm saying I dislike the characters.
All right.
Anyways.
So, as Jesse's parents, they're pressuring the marriage and grandchildren. Then, of course,
can I just say I do think the parents are probably the most problematic part of the episode.
I mean, he's going to end up marrying her and having kids with her anyway, so I don't think it's the.
They're just being really pushy about it, though. I'm sorry, they just
are all parents. Especially, I mean, they're not even they're Greek. They're not even they were Jewish parents. It'd be like a whole thing. It'd be the whole thing of it's the intrusive lifestyle thing.
Right.
When are you going to settle down? I want grandkids. Plus the fact they have they have grandkids by process of in-laws and stuff. So it's not Anyway. Well, actually, never mind. That is actually her. It's kind of her. That's the thing. Sorry, remember, because we have Danny. Doris Roberts actually played Danny's mother in the show. So,
really? Wow, that's crazy.
In the first season, yeah. So that's the thing. I don't think they recast. I think she's just only in one episode in the first season. They just didn't bring her back often. But yeah, so technically, this is the other grandmother, the one who's on the plane, because that's the mother's mother. So anyway, point being, yeah.
Although honestly, even mentioning Doris Roberts, Dragon, we should probably be careful because mentioning anything related to that show.
Well, that show, our Christmas episode for that show was actually left up, but the Halloween episode, I don't think so.
Oh, you're right. Oh my god.
They
Anyways,
like the toaster. They don't like the
folks, Code Geass and Richard's Victims, just a little history of the channel here. Everybody Loves Raymond was the closest that we've ever had to getting our channel fully shut down because of the copyright bullshit from that. Just from a thumbnail. We didn't even have any clips. We didn't have any audio, nothing. Oh, man. That was crazy.
And we didn't say any bad things about it either.
Yeah, no, exactly.
No. We love Ray Romano. Well, we love Brad Garrett more, but we love Ray Romano.
But then after that, it's like, okay, I guess we're never talking about that show ever again. I don't even want to say its name.
I'd like that. I'd like to. Believe me, I love that show. But fitting as the name is, I love that show.
All right. Anyways.
All right. Okay. So the point being, Becky's on board. Rebecca Donaldson, who she shows up, and of course down the line she's going to be very important and the apple of Jesse's eyes. And I think the idea being like Jesse can get any woman he wants, but she's the one who's like, yeah, she's going to rebuff him a little bit there, but because she's like Danny's co-worker. Like she's eventually going to be like his co-anchor and everything. So she's like the other half of his whole news thing. So
Sure.
Anyways, which is why he recognized her on the plane and everything. So we see that Jesse likes Rebecca, but he's really striking out. I like he did kind of like a Fonzie thing where everyone was like, "Oh," he's like, "Hey, nip that in the bud." Jesse being the least, you're trying to like rein in the cuteness of the show. Okay, so then we have
the fact that she'd rather go get a magazine than talk to him was kind of a stab in the heart a little bit, Dragon. I do feel for him in that moment.
Yeah. Again, we all like Uncle Jesse. We don't want to see him strike out. So we have the rude man on the plane. He's complaining about his seat. Like, no, I'm 1B. You little girls, get out of my seat. I reserved these seats 3 months ago.
Oh my god. And again, Dragon, first of all, I love the twist. If I'm reading the end of this episode right, then I love the twist with this guy. And I don't know, just something about his presence. I really genuinely think he is my favorite part of the episode. All right,
so this guy shows up. Grumpy guy shows up. And he wants the girls out of his seat, and we learned that somehow they all got reserved the 1B seat. So
I actually think this is probably the funniest joke in the whole episode, this right here.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So he's like, I paid for these seats 3 months ago, and these are the seats I'm going to sit in. Then the stewardess is like, well, we actually have 2 seats free in first class. He's like, oh, I'll take one. No, sir, you paid for these seats 3 months ago, and these are the seats that you're going to sit in. And that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, I really like the actor, just the instant change of like, going from like full on like Karen energy to like, ooh, I'll take one.
So the girls get the ride in first class, which of course.
Let's get out of this dump.
They're having a great time. Let's see. So we see some class divide comedy with first class gets like lobster and ice cream sundaes, where a coach gets like a chicken that tastes like liver.
Richard's Victims, really quick. Yeah, I did see that Barbie clip, and it looks amazing. And it just totally like I am my hype levels for that movie are fever pitch right now. Yeah, all right. Anyways, go ahead, Dragon.
Well, now it's going to be a disaster. Now you're hyped for something great.
Asteroid City worked out.
It did.
Yeah, remember?
I know. I remember it.
It's literally my favorite Wes Anderson movie, Dragon. Well, that's not nothing.
I don't know. You say that every Wes Anderson movie when it comes out, though.
I definitely didn't say that about Isle of Dogs.
All right, fine. Almost.
I like Isle of Dogs.
Fine. But every live action Wes Anderson movie.
I don't know. I don't think I've said that about anyone since Moonrise Kingdom, but I digress. I've seen it 3 times in theaters now.
All right. Point being, Got some class divide comedy here, and then we learn it's the pilot's birthday, and there's going to be cake.
I love that. I love that. And I also love that the stewardess is like so enthusiastic about roping the girls into the cake.
You know what? Let's take a moment there. Good on that stewardess, man. Seriously, isn't that stewardess is looking after those little girls' well-being?
No, but you know what my favorite part of this exchange is that it's not even that she's looking out for the girls, it's more so that she views the girls as her peers because they're in first class. That's kind of how I read the tone. Like, girls, come quick, there's cake. I don't know.
Regardless, I still think it's just kind of like showing that, it's kind of like then back during the happy-go-lucky days of flying the airways versus the post 9/11 like Southwest Airlines kind of era, It's like no cake for you. Anyway. So, let's see. So, the parents are recommending, hey, Becky, come on, Jesse, Becky. A little more loving than that, but yeah. Meanwhile, we have the big gag. Tiki, we have the big joke.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Michelle's being held, and then Michelle is looking over the seat. They're holding Michelle up for a bit.
Wait, this is the big gag? I mean, I guess.
Well, I'm saying, okay, fine. I think
just as far as it is probably the most memorable Michelle gag of the episode. So I guess by process of elimination,
the very least,
Michelle being the most memorable element of the show.
The very least is the big gag on the plane. All right.
Sure.
Michelle has a little boo moment here where she pets the grumpy man's toupee, and we learn his hair, and we learn it's a toupee. Says kitty, and basically off comes the hairpiece. I'm sorry. She loves animals. Very funny. Okay, so there's a snowstorm. They gotta land.
Well, hold on. They did bring up the lullaby.
Oh yeah. So of course, after the man gets upset, she starts to cry, and they sing. God, I'm trying to. They initially they sing her lullaby, which is like a dun 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 dun. It's the
girl from Ipanema.
See, I can't remember what the name is.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it either. I'm sorry. I'm like trying. I have it written down in my notes. I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's not Iwo It's
No, it's definitely not Iwo Jima.
That's what I'm saying. That has is it like an I name though?
What?
Is it an I name?
Yes, it's an I name.
That's the thing.
It's close to Iwo Jima. I think it's Ipanema.
Oh, we're gonna be here forever.
Girl from Ipanema. Yeah, I think that's it. Ipanema.
Okay. So point being, with nice.
That was really wow. That was awful.
Nice kind of like '60s era song.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
So we have this nice song they're singing that kind of lower in the comfort in with them. A snowstorm has hit, so they got to land. So having to land the plane in a snowstorm trope.
Okay, Kokia says Dave Coulier reminds him of Bill Murray. I think they have similar appearances and voices. You know who Coulier kind of reminds me of? Is he honestly kind of reminds me of Matthew Perry a little bit?
Well, I mean, maybe.
I don't know. I kind of get a similar vibe from the character.
Yeah, so Richard's Victims points out Dave Coulier was a stand-up comedian before this. Yeah, that's the thing. And of course, in the show, he was also playing a stand-up comedian. But that's the thing. He did stand-up. I know he did a lot of warm-up stuff for the comedians as well. So he was a bit of a warm-up guy. He did stand-up, but also, quite the impressionist and also a voice actor, which they kind of go hand in hand. Speaking of which, with the Bill Murray thing, if memory serves, I think he was on the real Ghostbusters, the original animated show. I think he was one of the Ghostbusters. I think.
Bill Murray?
No, not Bill.
Oh, Dave Coulier.
Dave
I was
Coulier.
going to say, no, Lorenzo Munich had his part.
Yes,
his part.
Not Munich. He's not. Anyway, he's not the speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. God, Munich. Jesus. I'm really killing it with the names tonight.
I could be wrong. I think he might have been. I could be wrong because I know Frank Welker was. They had Frank Welker and you had. Maurice LaMarche. I don't know. Maybe I think Coulier was
only one way to find out.
Okay, I know he wasn't. Okay, I'm now realizing he wasn't one of the main Ghostbusters. I think he was on that show though. I don't know if he played Slimer or what. I think he was on that show.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, So they're all grounded until morning and essentially stuck at the airport. Most likely, how realistic this is, you tell me. But they're going to have to sleep at the airport as well.
I mean, yeah, it can happen.
Okay,
It definitely can happen, Dragon.
I'm not saying it's impossible because we have a whole Spielberg movie dedicated to this concept, but still,
Exactly, yeah.
I'm just saying in real life, though. I don't know. I guess that also was technically based on a true story. So I guess, yeah, okay, there you go. Fine, you can sleep in an airport. So this is going to be trouble for Santa Claus, which is freaking the kid out. It's freaking Steph out.
Dragon, apparently he just had a bit part in the real Ghostbusters as deli owner in one episode.
I'll tell you what it was. Dave Coulier doing a lot of voice work. Probably.
So technically, he was in the real Ghostbusters.
Well, there you go. Then it was just Dave Coulier doing like a gig, but still, he did a lot of voice work though.
Yeah.
Mostly bit parts, it sounds like, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, so let's see. Oh, we have this gag where Steph's trying to call information to find Santa Claus, and they hang up on her at a certain point. Like, how rude! Which you remember that's her catchphrase, right?
I did not. You see, I didn't even know enough about the show to know that. Honestly,
yeah, that's her big.
I know you got it, dude. That's about it.
Yeah, you've got it, dude. And
which, by the way, is not in this episode.
Well, the thing is, this is the early Michelle where she could barely talk. So
right, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
At a certain point, like anything, she has like minimal dialogue. I'm sure at some point she'll say, "You got to do." When she was like probably season 3 onwards, when you get the whole "You got it, dude." So, yeah, Stephanie's big thing was like, "How rude," she says, like the uppity voice. DJ got bupkis. Again, DJ didn't really get anything until she was old. Honestly,
like I said, I guess I just know about more of what her role was in the show based on pop culture osmosis, just based on the Aladdin thing.
I mean, sadly, DJ's big thing was that like she's friends with Kimmy Gibbler, the funny one.
Oh, jeez.
That was kind of what it was. It was like
Keenan. That is kind of sad.
It was kind of Keenan and Kel, but what if Keenan didn't have the straight man kind of bouncing off the other one, sort of thing? It's like, what if Keenan was just there? Oh, look. There's Keenan. Later on, we'll do stuff with Keenan, but not yet.
I'm sorry. That just sounds like a very sad way to describe any scenario of Keenan and Kel. What if Keenan was just there?
God. Like, what if Ed?
That's like the worst case scenario. That's like the worst timeline of Keenan and Kel.
No, here's the real sad version of Keenan and Kel. What if Keenan and Kel was like the prequel to Good Burger, which was before it was back when Ed used to be a clean cut kind of bumbling.
Oh my god!
And then he got his brain fried by the end. It's like, welcome to Good Burger. Can I take your order?
That's what orange soda will do to you, man.
Hey, don't say that, Tiki.
Jesus.
Don't say that. Okay.
Okay, God. I had no idea you were so sensitive about that.
Yes. So
Richard's victim says the funniest character in Full House was Kevin. Kevin isn't a real character in Full House. All right.
Okay. So the man from the plane shows up. The grumpy man from the plane says, "I'm sorry, is your tribe sitting here?" Yes.
Well, then I'm going to be sitting way over there.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Katsopoulos, Nick Katsopoulos here. He suggests, hitting on a woman in crisis. I mean, after all, Elvis was drafted. That's when he met his mother.
That is honestly like the most problematic element of this episode for me is just the whole like, yeah, she's in distress. Take advantage of it.
Well, it's not like it works.
I know.
All right, so Becky is homesick. There's like a big turkey dinner, and then there's Janice. Not the Muppet. Janice, the cow.
Not Chandler Bing's ex-girlfriend.
Well, was that Janet or Janice?
I think it was Janice. I'm pretty sure it was
I think you're right. I'm blanking on it. Okay.
Hey, Chandler.
You know what's even better? Every time I think of her now, I keep remembering that she's the fake Harley in the Joker's Millions.
Oh, God, you're right.
She's basically doing kind of the Fran Drescher, but doing...
Oh, she's absolutely doing a Fran Drescher. That's basically what that whole character is.
Whatever you say, Mr. G, I'll be the best Harley ever. Okay.
Kokia says, I don't know. Kevin's a pretty common name, so there might be a full Kevin in Full House. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point there was a one-off character named
I
Kevin.
mean, it's possible, but nah, this is really, if so, it's very rare.
All right.
Okay. So, anyway, so Janice the cow. So the bag of presents, Tiki. The bag of presents. It's
It's
gone. It's missing. It's vanished.
trope. Trope.
Yes, we've lost the bag of presents, but we've gained another trope. Of course, this is a really cute gag. I gotta be honest, like a subtle gag. You hear the whole Joey, what are we gonna do? Well, maybe we should look for it. You're so good under pressure. But it's nice. Joey, again, funny man, direct solution. Just look for it. So, DJ reassures Steph that Rudolph knows his radar, which is a cute, kind of reassuring a kid sort of thing. Also, a Rudolph trope. We have the Christmas stakes, bigger trope, stakes of Christmas of Santa not being able to find him, and then Danny coming into
Also, did you mention not being able to get home for the holidays as a trope?
I did now.
Okay, there you go.
Not being able to get home in time for the holidays for Christmas. So let's see. So speaking of which, it's the whole thing of like it's not going to be the same as Christmas morning if we don't get the presents on Christmas Day. Danny clips the wings of her, saying, "Well, the radar might have trouble finding her through the snow." DJ's asking what's up, and Danny says, loops DJ and Danny loops DJ and saying the CD player, saying the presents might be lost, but my CD player. How did you know you were getting a CD player?
I feel like that's kind of like the sort of like corny family friendly humor that works for this show.
That's true. Okay, so this is gonna be the worst Christmas ever. This is not going to be well. And speaking of which, Danny's saying this is not going well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. So it looks like they need some cheering up from Joey Claus.
Oh my god! This I'm sorry, but I Michelle's moment in this just kills me. And again, I can totally see how Michelle became such a popular character.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, Joey Claus shows up.
We have Michelle with the grumpy guy like Kitty, and he freaks out. So Danny films this seemingly magical Christmas moment where the disenfranchised child is about. Then there's a Christmas trope for it. I think we all had something like this. I don't know if it was recorded, but we do have like the kid having a proper meet and greet with Santa Claus in the early years.
Oh, sure.
So Stephanie and Santa Claus, or Joey Claus, technically, it's a sweet moment. Or Santa Claus actually does know everything. I know everything, and I even know that you ate that.
I really do like how they hold on it for a while. It's like they do try and make a sweet moment of it. It's like, well, I know that you've been working extra hard this year and you've been very nice to your family, and you also ate the last slice of cold pizza that Uncle Joey was going to have for breakfast. But nonetheless.
Yeah.
So it's like that, they commit to the bit for like a solid minute of like, oh, this is going to wrap up stuff really nicely.
Then Michelle, she exposed. I love she doesn't like do the thing. I think we're all dreading it was gonna be, no, Michelle, don't rip the beard off. She didn't do it though. Michelle just said, "Hi, Joey."
Which honestly, that's like 10 times better than just her ripping the beard off. I mean, because it's kind of, it just kind of speaks to like little kids, man. They can be smarter than you expect.
Exactly. So Steph is betrayed by
betrayal.
Betrayed by Joey. Because because of the whole she feels very deceptive. It was such a mean trick. She goes back to her phone booth.
Okay, you know what I love about this gag is she specifically says, "I'm going back to my phone," and it's like in a modern context that could just so easily be like a mopey kid going on their smartphone.
Yep.
So I think it's adorable that it's the 90s. So when she says she's going to her phone, it's like a very literal actual phone booth. Which, by the way, I don't know. Dragon, tell me if you feel kind of the same way here. There's something kind of comfortable to me about a stressed out kid seeking refuge in a phone booth.
I mean, yeah, look, the phone booth is, I don't care what anyone says, the phone booth is like a cool set piece no matter what. That's the crime. That's the, Vince Gilligan would back me 1,000% on this. I know he
Oh
would.
my god.
Because, Vince Gilligan, like, when we see the 2002 era Better Call Saul, we have, like, not phone booth, essentially phone booths, but like the, like the payphones, they have the payphones.
Uh-huh.
Which it's kind of a shifting thing with the times. You go Superman 78, we didn't have Superman changing the phone booth. We made fun of that. Like he runs up to a slightly more modern phone booth. We're like, no, can't really change in there now. So it's like we've been building to this point, but the phone booth is like this great set piece location. Look at Duel, for example. Man runs to a phone booth gets destroyed and atomized. It's a great confined space. There's like a whole movie set in the phone booth. I forget if we call that movie phone booth. No, the thing with
It's
Colin
literally
Farrell.
just called Phone Booth, yes.
There's a whole movie called phone booth.
That's a great movie.
It's an
I
enclosed.
actually think that's the first movie I ever saw Colin Farrell in, come to think of it.
It's an enclosed space. It has the delusion of safety, and you have a phone in which you can call people. And if you're lucky, you might have like a little stool, like a little chair, maybe. Maybe like a little built-in like little shelf thing that you set.
Kind of like a
Anyway.
bus stop bench or something.
Yeah, there you go. Like a little, like almost like a shower. Like
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just something really nice and quaint about the design. Plus, superhero can get changed in it, or Maxwell Smart.
The fact that it's like directly attached to the to the baggage claim, so it's not like she's like alone by herself, but she's in her own like confined space. I don't know. Again, very comfortable. Very comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, Doctor Who turned like his whole base into that thing. It's an English one, but still. All right, so. Again, we say everyone's having a rotten Christmas.
This is very much like this episode very much does commit to the 3-act structure because this is very much a low of lows moment.
Oh, for sure. So let's see.
I broke Stephanie's heart.
The presents are lost. No family, no cow for Christmas. The presents are lost. And then basically,
did I mention the presents are lost?
Commercialism. Christmas commercialism trope.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Danny blames himself here, but it's up to Uncle Jesse to rally the troops. This is John Stamos' shining moment in the special, man. This is great. Jesse Papadopoulos here. It's the first Christmas. He's mentioned the first Christmas in the manger. It was in a manger. It's not about Santa Claus or presents or cows. It's about a feeling. It's about people. It's actually a really good speech.
Which that sentiment, I would say, is a trope unto itself.
Yeah, the meaning of Christmas speech. Like Linus had one of those.
I'm also thinking the Grinch.
That's true. The Grinch is probably the Grinch is the better example. Let's face it. As much as we love the Charlie Brown Christmas, Linus.
Which, by the way, that's like one of the main things that turns me off of the Jim Carrey movie, as you know.
Right.
The whole boo.
Oh God! Don't remind me of the boo thing right now.
It's like, yeah, way to just ruin the basically the core message of the whole story there, buddy. Great.
Dang it, Ron.
Right. Which, it's frustrating because the movie itself is pretty damn good. Jim Carrey's a big Grinch, but
yeah, I know. Anyway, I was gonna say, it's like we look for like the meaning of Christmas and everything. It's a nice way of boiling it down versus Linus going on the whole speech about, hey, Linus, we're looking for the meaning of Christmas, not the origin of Christmas. That's not what we asked for. Exactly. You just told us the origin of Christmas. That's not the same thing at all. No, it worked out fine though. So. So anyway, so we have this thing where he says, like, look over there. What do you see? A coat rack? I see a Christmas tree. Look over there. I see a vending machine. I see a dinner with all the trimmings.
Oh my God. Pop, look over there. What do you see?
It's a conveyor belt.
That? No, you're right. It's actually just a conveyor belt.
Stamos, no one ever gives Stamos enough credit. Stamos knows how to hit the punchline well.
He does, yeah.
We're going to make this the best Christmas ever for these kids. And the snow's falling and everything.
By the way, I should mention this about Stamos. You know what I always think of when I think of Stamos?
Elvis.
The fact that he actually bought the original Disneyland sign.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you don't know about that?
No, I don't know about this. No.
Yeah, the original Disneyland sign, Dragon. He bought it.
That's really nice. So
Yeah, yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah,
It does
land,
make me.
yes.
This now makes me really curious because I gotta wonder in the Full House episode if they went to Disneyland or World because it's been forever.
They went to World. I know they went to
It
World.
was World.
All the Walt Disney, all the ABC shows were Walt Disney World. Up until I think George Lopez doing Disneyland was one of the first times they actually did a Disneyland episode. I could be wrong about that, but I remember they made a big deal about George Lopez going to Disneyland instead of Disney World. Anyways,
It's kind of funny when you think about it because you'd imagine they would have gone to land because it'd be a lot closer.
yeah, but I think the thing is with Disney World, they had just opened like around that time they were trying to promote stuff like Hollywood Studios and the new hotels and stuff like that.
That tracks.
All about promotion, Dragon. That's what those episodes were all about.
Yeah,
Disneyland, because Disneyland has always been a locals park. Like everyone's like people are always going to go to Disneyland. You have to work harder to sell Disney World.
There's one scene in that Full House, Disney World thing. I just really want you to. You're not even gonna have a good reaction. That's why I just want to see. Just want to talk about. It's really fun.
I'm just very curious to see how shitty the geography lines up with that episode. That's one of my favorite things to track with sitcom episodes.
Oh, there's definitely kind of a geography thing in that one. Okay. So, let's see. Anyway, so point we rally the troops and we have like the whole he's kind of approaching the grumpy guy. It brings in the whole yoo-hoo.
Mm-hmm.
Calls back the sleigh ride thing when the snow's basically coining the phrase of the thing. Okay, so meanwhile we cut back to later. So they have the coat rack looking like Christmas tree.
I'm sorry, really quick with that gag. I do want to highlight it's a really funny delivery on Stamos's part because he's kind of like, pushed piecing it together in his head. He's like, because the snow is falling and the friends are calling woo-hoo.
Yeah.
I just love the delivery.
It's great. So let's see. So later on, we have the coat rack has now been made into a Christmas tree, kind of Charlie Brown style. Like I guess Charlie Brown Christmas tree trope.
Uh-huh.
We have like hats and mittens and like solo.
It actually looks really good.
Yeah, it's like solo cup tree. Yeah. Let's see. So everyone's sleeping right now. Danny is asleep on the conveyor belt, and Michelle pushes the button on the conveyor belt. So bye, Daddy. So apparently, at the very least, the old school, kind of conveyor belts. It was a majority of it is kind of like it's here to outside. I guess is the way it works.
Right. That kind of threw me off too. Yeah.
Well, that's it, because when I think conveyor belt, you and I probably think of the same thing. Think of the climax of Toy Story 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, seriously! When the conveyor belt goes, it's gonna be this whole bank of like in interior, and then we're gonna end up outside. Eventually, we have to go on a whole journey. We're gonna like run through luggage. It's gonna be a whole cool thing. Anyway, so no, Danny's not going on a wild ride there. He's probably just gonna take a long trip around the block. So she waves, and of course now everyone's woken up. It's like, hey, Munchkin, what are you doing? Anyway,
I'm sorry, really quick. I want to pause on the whole waking everyone up thing because that's genuinely, I think, the most unrealistic part of the whole episode. Dragon, if you were to wake up a whole crowd of people trying to get sleep in an airport, they would not be happy. I don't care if it's Christmas.
We don't know how much time has passed.
But they're all trying to sleep, though. I don't know. I'm just saying, with the crowd just going along with everything.
I think it's just, at this point, I think they're really just bored. It's like, well, Christmas.
That's fair.
I don't think it's like, really, what are they going to lose? And they probably got enough sleep. I don't know. It's like, okay, we might as well entertain ourselves at Christmas.
Sure.
Anyways, I do like the conveyor belt with the snow on it, too, by the way. It looks a nice visual.
Yeah, it's a great visual, for sure. It is.
Okay, so it's Christmas, and DJ seems cool without presents and everything, and then Danny circles back. This is a really cute. It's a dumb joke, but it's a cute.
When
joke.
DJ was like very content with not having the presents, I honestly thought the gag was going to be like the presents were just going to immediately show up, and she was like, "No, I was wrong. I'm so much happier with like this."
No, we got to earn that, Tiki. So Danny, he seemed covered in snow and everything, and Jesse says, "Oh, it looks like he's been dreaming of a white Christmas." It's nice. It's a cheap joke.
I'm sorry. Can we just pause on how corny that line
It's
is.
corny, but it's funny. Corny is all get at it. It's corny than
I
Mountain.
think in this time period, Bob Saget was probably dreaming of another kind of white Christmas.
I just turned it dark.
I know. I'm sorry. That was dark.
Come on, man.
We love you, Bob. Rest in peace. I'm sorry.
You know what? Okay, you know what? He probably would like that joke, so I guess it's
That's
fine.
what I'm saying. It's a
But
dark
still,
joke for a dark comedian.
I guess. I don't know. Like, also, it's Christmas, though. You know? Or in our case, it's halfway to Christmas, but you know.
Oh God.
Anyway, so they got to thaw Danny out, so they're gonna get him. Need some quarters for the coffee machine, but he has quarters, but they're frozen to his thighs.
Jesus.
See, now here's Bob Saget would probably go, "Who's gonna help me? Who's gonna help me thaw these coins off my thighs?" Anyway, so let's see. So, Dad, old Nick Katsopoulos here, he suggests, the mistletoe. That's how he kiss his mother, and then stop until New Year's.
Mhm.
So, we have this. We have like the two things the Katsopoulos men are great at: kissing and great hair.
Yeah, Jesse's hair was like a style back in the day, right? Wasn't that a trend, kind of like the Rachel was.
Well, I don't know. All I know it was popular. It was like his signature. I don't know if like it was like the Rachel, but it was it was his memorable trait as a character for the whole series. The hair and everything. So So Stamos works his magic here on the mistletoe. You get to see the charm radiating off this guy here. Where, he says, "Well, Becky, so we can be friends and everything. But, it's mistletoe. It's tradition. It's Christmas law. Well, I don't want to break Christmas law." You get to see these two crazy kids. They want to get together. They do. So they go for it, and his catchphrase, "Have mercy." But oh boy, does he!
Again, I did not know that was his catchphrase. That's how little I know about this.
Wait,
show.
really? You didn't know that was his catchphrase?
No, I didn't know "Have mercy."
Okay.
I've watched this show, Dragon.
Okay, now I'm curious.
Literally, the only catchphrase I know about in this show is "You got it, dude."
I got one question for you.
Okay.
You don't know what Joey's catchphrase is, do you?
No.
Cut it out.
Yeah, no, that doesn't even sound familiar.
little finger snip, like cut it out. There's like the sign language version of it too. Anyway, so point being, they works his magic, has like a really like a wow kind of moment, sort of kiss there, and says, "I can't wait to do that again next Christmas." So she kind of leaves him wanting more. And speaking of leaving people wanting more, he's still on the mistletoe. Random older woman shows up and kisses the Katsopoulos under the tree. Well, under the mistletoe. So, again, also, mistletoe.
By the way, that is straight up sexual assault.
Oh, it's mistletoe,
though. I don't really care for the mistletoe thing in the modern context, honestly.
Okay.
All right. By the way, mistletoe trope.
Yes, trope. Oh, Dave besmirch the mistletoe.
I'm just saying, mistletoes are just like it's like an invitation for like unsolicited sexual attention. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that, but all I'm saying is just for the purposes of our whole shtick, you're trying to eliminate the mistletoe. This is like our whole thing. We need it for our title.
Oh God, Richard's victims didn't know about Cut It Out, unfortunately. Kokias, I'm going to say something that makes Richard's victims very angry, but honestly, I'm tempted to binge a little bit of the show. Probably not the whole series, but I'm tempted to binge some of it, like the Aladdin arc, for example. I'm tempted to binge the Aladdin arc.
Okay, well, Steve, not Aladdin. Okay.
No, he is Aladdin, Dragon. You shut your face.
Okay, all right, fine.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, anyway. So, Santa Claus enters. Here's another trope. The real Santa Claus.
This is honestly one of my favorite tropes. The whole thing about like the ambiguously magical real Santa Claus making an appearance. Dragon, I don't know. No matter how many times we do this trope, it always kind of gets to me.
Yep, and Rugrats did
it.
Yep, so it says, hi, Steph says, "Hi, Joey." She's like, "Oh, hey, Steph." This is what
that's great right there. Honestly, that moment is kind of like the moment that sort of like reminds me the most of like a Chandler Bing moment. I don't know why. Just that delivery, the
Uh,
look in his eye.
but there's kind of like a moderately like not irritated, but sort of like it's like a really hi,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
look around, kid. All right, so we go up there. We have a little Miracle on 34th Street. Here's another trope for you. Miracle on 34th Street. Little
How so?
what?
Like, what is the context of Miracle on 34th Street?
Yeah, the beard tug. Like, give it a tug. Ouch.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Duh. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. She wishes, he wishes them a Merry Christmas. Then we have a little magic there. It's like we'll hear a little magic effect, and we see the return of the presents on the conveyor belt.
I will say, from a writing standpoint, I do wish we had a little bit of a punctuation on DJ being materialistic in this moment.
That's fair.
Like, it's the presents. Christmas really is saved. I don't know, something like that. Some sort of punctuation.
Yeah, maybe. So Santa, we have pull a Santa exit here, a little tantamount to a bad exit to another trope, a little Santa exit magic.
Uh-huh.
Go to like, oh, thanks, Santa. Well, where'd it go? All right, so Danny figures that someone changed into Joey's Santa Claus outfit, but then Joey pulls up the Santa Claus outfit still in the bag. I don't think so. Then we have this device, which I mean, it's circa 1988. I don't know if we even have.
Oh, it is very dated, Dragon. It is very dated.
I don't know if this is like a computer or what. Like, I don't think it is, but it's like something.
I think it's technically like just a very, very, very old school laptop. Honestly,
I mean, maybe. But did we even have laptops? And this is an '88, Tiki.
well, I don't know. I don't like. We certainly didn't have laptops in the way that we think of laptops, so it's probably not like officially called a laptop.
I mean,
but
part of
it's
me wonders
like the closest thing that you would have to something like that back then.
Like, I think a part of me wonder if it was like a radar thing or not, but I don't know how much sense that would make.
Right.
That's the thing. I just couldn't figure out. This feels really early for a laptop. I mean, we're it's that far back.
No, it does. I mean, I don't know. It could just be that they literally invented a piece of technology for the episode.
Look, we did have computers, but it was like for example, like we'd have like the cap system for Little Mermaid in the '80s.
Right. Yeah.
Tail end of the '80s, and we're still probably using like big servers for that. I don't think we're quite. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. So after that, Stephanie sees like ho 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 like on the little screen there. This is thanks for the map, Steph. Oh.
And I do really love the implication that the grumpy man was Santa Claus all along. I don't know. That's just very nice.
I can't. It's odd though. I can't really find like a crediting of like who played Santa Claus. But I mean, there's no.
I genuinely don't really think it's the same actor. I don't.
Neither do I. That's the thing. I don't think it's.
And if it is the same actor, then bravo, because man, he does a good job of just disappearing into both of the roles.
Here's the thing: that beard looks very real.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Which unless
that's how you read the ending with the computer, though, right? That it's supposed to be the same guy.
Well, wait a minute. He So wait, when he was on the plane, I know he had a briefcase. Was that a computer he was typing?
No, he was working on the computer on the plane. Yes.
There you go. He was the guy. I gotta be honest. I forgot what he was doing on the plane. But yeah, if that was computer, then that's what the implication is, that he was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay, well, yeah, I think it's really cool. But yeah, it's different. It has to be a different actor playing it. Otherwise, it would have unless that's a really, really good beard for it.
Right.
The chances are that was the very slim chance. If it's the same guy, they would have had to shoot the Santa stuff first and then have him shave. But it's a white. That's like a very white beard. Okay, that's not like that guy. I know he had a toupee.
Man. It's like Greg Sestero. Like, you gotta shave your beard, Mark.
Yeah. I'm not saying like he just randomly grew. He started clean shave and then he grew it, but no, I'm saying like we have to shoot in reverse.
All
right. So Santa seemingly flies away. And then we're opening the gifts and we have a little Christmas card graphic at the end.
Yeah, and I do love how the Christmas Carol transitions into the girl from Ipanema.
Yeah.
I'm gonna land on that as a pronunciation.
All right. So, but yeah, so there's going the last trope we got there is, it's the old Christmas, the Christmas card ending.
Yep. Okay, my God. There's so many. This honestly might be the tropiest episode we've ever covered, Dragon.
Send in the tropes.
Do you agree though?
Nah, yeah, it's very trope filled for sure.
All right. Christmas photo. Uh Vacation around the holidays. The anxiety of Santa not finding you.
We have
Christmas travel.
the family member in the Santa suit.
Yep. Christmas snowstorm.
Charlie Brown tree.
Airport.
Speechifying about the meaning of Christmas.
God.
You said Christmas sweaters, didn't you?
I feel like at this point we kind of sound like the red letter media guys just going off about random Star Wars references.
We have Christmas sweaters. We have mistletoe and problematic mistletoe. We have we have the ambiguous Santa Claus ending. We have essentially, aka the real Santa Claus shows up.
Do we say lost presents?
Yes, we have lost presents. We have snow. And snow indoors. We got let's see. We have the meager Christmas feast.
Yes.
And you have the Christmas card ending.
Yep. Okay, that's about it.
I mean, there's probably a few more. I think we kind of have.
I mean, to list them all, we literally just have to recap the whole episode again because the episode is nothing but tropes.
But Tiki, before we're going forward, perhaps see, we kind of jumped the gun on this, Tiki. Well, we probably should have said what our final thoughts are.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I honestly, final thoughts. I like I said, I was very as this podcast is probably illuminated, I know I'm probably about as evergreen on not knowing much about this show as I can be, beyond just like it was shot in San Francisco and the Olsen twins. But I honestly thought this was a delight, Dragon. There's definitely some cheesy bits that don't really hold up well, but overall, we already established it as like just it might be legitimately the tropiest episode that we've ever covered of anything. So for our purposes, I think it was a perfect episode to start with. I really do. I'm very satisfied with picking this as a season premiere for our 10th season.
Yeah, for me, I thought, this is like prime Full House in its simplest form. It's a little more ambitious with the set piece at the airport. Corny with charm for days. I love Jesse rallying the troops, a little makeshift Christmas, all that. So, it ain't Yates, but it's nice. Also, like I said, Tiki, you should probably thank the folks, and then we'll do the thing.
Okay, just to make sure I don't miss any other comments here. Kogia says Full House isn't the type of show where you need to see every episode, but watching more of the show would be fun. Yeah, like I said, Kogias, I honestly think what my plan is I'm literally going to look up every episode that the Aladdin actor was in and watch all those. Just because I genuinely, that would be a fun, it'd be really interesting to see that voice in live action. Let's see. Star Wars is basically Christmas. Sure. Not knowing much about the terrorist attack on Wit is a good thing, Tiki. Okay, final Full House roast. All right, so big thanks to Richard's Victims and Kogias Anime Fan. I mean, seriously, you two are really killing it on comments just in general. I really appreciate honestly, Dragon, I'm gonna get a little Christmas sentimental here because Richard's Victims, Kogias, they've been very consistent with their level of engagement, and folks, we don't I probably should start a Patreon at some point, and we're kind of in the works for that. But honestly, Dragon, this is just a hobby for us, and it has been for the past 10 years that we've been working together. We really don't do this for profit at all. We are very much just we enjoy, sitting down, talking about the stuff we're passionate about. And if there's one thing that we really love, it is people who are actively engaged in the comments. So, from the bottom of my heart, we really appreciate you guys. So that is some Christmas sentiment to end things out on. All right, Dragon, go ahead.
Tiki, what we've just done here, you get all sentimental and us going through all the tropes and listing them out. It just it's just a shame that in 10 years, 10 long years, we still to the day don't have like a cute name for this process, like a nice like we need something cheesy like Full House. We need something. We need some Christmas cheese here, but something a little more catchy. You know, we don't want anything smelly like Christmas cheese. We want something maybe in a different era problematic, but I mean just still kind of like like a classic like kind of window dressing of Christmas that we could like scientifically analyze in a way that's reminiscent of a scene from a certain iconic movie that's turning 30 this year. I don't know, something. If only we could have like some universal symbol of Christmas. Maybe like in a primary color, perhaps, if we could put under a scientific device of some kind and zoom in on, maybe not maybe initially we go too far and we kind of crush it, but then we put another one under there, and then we just kind of like compare it to a Christmas episode of something, and we get I don't know. We just need a name for this process. But I'm utterly flummoxed, a decade in the making. I got nothing. I'm dried up creatively. I got bubkiss. Nada.
My God.
What do we call this thing, man?
How are you going to do 5 more of those? Putting the mistletoe under the microscope, Dragon. What about that?
I like it.
All right. Next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la
La
la
la
la
la
la
la
la.
la. Christmas cheese.
Christmas cheese. Oh, Christmas.